So we're like about to do like this narration of the pre-gaming time on people play. And right now it's going through the point it's gonna pause a little bit, probably for the delay, but you got to choose your character, man or woman.
Pick
You
your
can change,
dress.
yes, you can change your skin tone, your hair, not too much, but a little bit. And we're waiting for the video to start the game, not us. So
I like that you get to choose your characters. If you're a boy playing the game, a girl playing the game, you can say it.
mhm.
Mhm.
Let's see if I can skip ahead. Oh, maybe not. Oh well.
What I actually like is that we're able to have a game that's informative.
Okay. So I think you can stop the video now so you get the sense of it. So we're gonna welcome you. This is the chance to really hear from all the people at Sanico. Sanico, an innovative menstrual health startup company. Um, we have the Clear Passport books that you can see on Google, Apple, wherever you get your physical and or digital copy of the book. And you can also go to the website at sanaco.us. And we're going to just talk about menstrual health. So it's a taboo conversation. So you should have opened up your brain, whatever you need to do to open up your brain right now. But we're going to hear from the ally, the true gender equality advocate, our COO, Chief
Mhm.
Operations Officer of Sanical. And Roxanne, you can take this because, having a co-founder relationship is like, okay, I know this person.
Hi. So the really cool thing is Mr. Tosin Oni, our COO, co-founder of Sanical, has been in with us from the beginning. He is one of the ones that thought about what Sanical envisioned what Sanical could be, and also has given us such a roadmap that we can follow, both technically and now as our operations manager. So I'm so excited to have you here. He has buku degrees. How many do you have right now? Is this on your fifth one right now?
Yeah, that's about.
Super smart, and now a new father of a little boy. So I'm so excited for that. Um, so to you, Tosin, how are you doing today? Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, you gotta admit yourself first.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here again, and it's always a pleasure to be part of the team. It's been a journey, and I'm glad to be part of it. How are you doing today?
We're
Great.
at the yeah, we're at the you are the end of a long, amazing day of dads of all ages with daughters of all ages, and having been able to touch on menstrual health a little bit with each conversation has been amazing. To just know that you are part of an army, literally, since a lot of them were military veterans. You are part of an army of gender equality advocates. So it's been an amazing day, and we're happy to continue the conversation with you.
Same. I'm excited to be here and glad to continue the conversation right from where we've stopped. And yeah, get people more enlightened and get to talk more about menstrual health, which is a big cause for all of us.
Literally that. And I think that that's kind of what we want to start with, right? So you gave so many amazing tips on how men and human identified men can be menstruators, right? And especially since, Sanico is a femtech
Correct.
company, right? So utilizing the technology too. So we kind of want you to touch a little bit more on that. How can the men continue to be allies and utilize the technology to be an ally?
I think coming from the standpoint of technology, especially when it comes to menstrual health today, the biggest piece of technology which has been given to us generally, I'll say, comes in line with communication. Everywhere we go today, it's you use your phone. We're all connected, especially with tethered to our phones today. So they're on computer, primarily phones, social media, and so we've gotten this platform where communication is seamless. And so by utilizing our phones, social media, primarily Google, which is a great knowledge repository where you can get to learn more, but also get to advocate, talk more about um, your points of views, what you think about menstrual health, collaborating with other people. And as a result, I'll say technology, from technology standpoint, communication is probably the first piece that has really been revolutionized and has become so much more easier. And as a result, men can actually become more part of it. Because let's date it back to, let's say, about 5 decades ago, when technology wasn't as prolific as it is today. I couldn't, there was no social media, there was no way for me to actually get this topic, to contribute to this topic in a way where there was some sort of anonymity to it. But technology has brought this means, this medium out for us today where communication has become revolutionized and we can actually utilize it as a platform to get men more involved in the discussion around menstrual health.
Absolutely. And I have one more question because you obviously everybody can hear a strong, beautiful accent. So for them to know that you are of Nigerian descent, but specifically Yoruba, right? That's your tribe?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, I'm
So
Yoruba to the core, representing the tribe.
So I want you to touch a little bit more on just that cultural aspect, right? Like you did touch on it of, how it's kind of gender normal from where you came from at home. But here we are in America where it's just the complete opposite, right? So for those
Yeah.
who are open-minded enough to want to expand from the cultural aspect, talk a little bit more about the cultural aspect of how men can become allies from the cultural aspect.
I'd say from the cultural aspects, there's quite a couple of opportunities for people to become more inclusive, particularly coming from back home where there's, let's go probably some rights, which I believe we're actually going into tomorrow as part of the event. There are things like rites of passage where men become essentially involved in the taking of their kids, especially their daughters, up onto adulthood as they get into that teenage and blossom into women. So those kind of, I'll call it, structures and cultural standpoints brings men to be more integrated and more involved in the conversation and in the process of actually um, getting women or being involved in the process of women going through the puberty stage and actually blossoming into women, and alongside comes everything that has to do with menstrual health and all.
I think also one of the aspect is you kind of have a unique part because you're the father of a son. So
Yeah.
how does raising him in the space of understanding what menstruation is, how to be an ally to other women, his mom, how does that affect how you're raising him?
I would say in terms of upbringing, I'd actually probably dial it back to the way I grew up, for instance. So culturally, being a Yoruba man, we're raised to treat women as queens. So essentially, women are drilled that we should protect, and that goes with all the ladies in the house, like you're a treasure. So from that standpoint, we get to understand that we need to do everything we can to make sure the women are good. And that's you're going through your time of the month, you require this, you need this, being able to understand and being able to be present for you there to actually get all you need, the support you need, the resources you need for you to be able to blossom and actually be at rest and be at peace and be protected. That's what I'll use for it. So in the same ways I was raised, and it's the same way I'm passing it on, and I will pass it on to generations to come to ensure that that trend can continue where we're active, where you understand the needs of a woman in the society, and you can place yourself in there as a man, as a boy, as a teenager who's a male, being able to support females accurately and in the best way that you can with the knowledge and understanding. And obviously, I will be passing out the knowledge and understanding that I have today and my experience, wealth of experience down. So that's what I would say.
And I really see, Tosin, you educating your son in the way that you just described, like that's going to be, at least in the States, that's going to be revolutionary. That is just going to be so amazing. And hopefully, other dads will see you as the model, as a model for educating their sons, which is going to be so fantastic because really that's the only way of reducing or eliminating maybe the stigma,
Correct.
around menstruation. And I loved how in your talk you said that, we have to remove the gender lines, around menstruation in order to, understand and have conversations about it. So I wonder if you could say a little bit more about how these gender lines kind of keep us stuck.
I'll say generally when it comes to gender lines, you it's a definition. We're male, there's female, and there's a lot more genders today in the society. But generally, if you keep your mind stuck on this is the role of a male, this is the role of a female, there won't be a cohesive environment where you can actually blossom and help and support each other correctly. Because there's a term which it's a meme, a picture that I saw a long time back, where they put justice and inequality I said justice and equality. They put a child, a tall man, and let's say about so a child, a teenager, and a man, essentially. So just using that figure, think of someone at 6 feet, someone at 4 feet, and someone at 3 feet. All on they're trying to watch a game, and then there's a pedestal like there are stands for them to stand on, and then they put the same level of stand for all of them. Guess what? Above the about 5 feet barricade, the 6 feet guy can still see properly. The the one in the middle can see with the pedestal below them, but the child can't see nothing. That is equality. But when justice came in, it's like, let us all contribute according to. So they rearranged the boxes, which at this point, the boxes are not equal. Each person is standing on a different pedestal, but they can both or they can all enjoy the same point of view and actually experience war together. So that's kind of like the standpoint where I'll come from, where it's there's no specific role for the female to technically play in the society, and there's no specific role technically for the male to play in society. Hey, it's house chores. I'm a guy. I do house chores. I cook. A female, there's nothing that stops you from learning a little bit about cars. Being able to, hey, I need to fix this on my car. Being able to get into the to the auto mechanic and understanding that, hey, this is what I need to do. I've been able to communicate it. Like if we can take out that gender definitive line and actually live in a fused society, we'll be able to understand coming back to menstrual health where it's like that's not just a problem of a female, it's a problem of the house. If she can't work or she's not feeling good to do something because of she's on her menstrual period, I should be able to understand support, get out the resources, everything she needs to be able to blossom and actually rest in that scenario. And that's where I'll come from when it comes to gender.
Finger snaps.
You know what? I'm starting to think I kind of want to take a complete 360 degrees. So, but it's still in a loop of conversation, but my brain is just churning, right? Okay, so this is kind of in a way of it's kind of going to point at Dr. Carmen because this is where Sanical is going next, right? Yes, we have been educating dads and starting with that conversation, but
Yep.
almost segueing into from what Toshin just said is that there's still men in charge that are on that pedestal that still separate the gender. And so where Sanical is going next is we're tapping into the workplace, right? There are women who are now entering workplaces by choice, but they still don't have that ally. They still don't have that advocacy. And so Dr. Carmen, what do you think about entering technology and entering the workspace? How would you feel about seeing that uh, kind of employer and employee ally, bridging together when it comes to educating about menstrual health?
I think
I'll Okay, sorry, you wanted to jump in there? Sorry, I'll just add a letter to that. I would say taking notes from a few organizations that I've actually worked for in the past, where there is what we call wellness programs for people. This is essentially where this will fit in perfectly because within wellness comes mental health, physical well-being, menstrual health, and it's something that should be acknowledged in the workplace. Hey, your role is technically you need to be at work 24/7 or technically, but now at this time you need the support in a specific way or you need to leave for a specific reason, being able to accommodate that, being able to provide resources. Oh, you're on your period. There are resources in the office for you to actually access right on the spot. There's knowledge, there's information, there's fiscal resources, and that's a huge place or like a huge gap that Sanico will be able to actually fit in the workplace. And so, Dr. Carmen, sorry for for cutting it right there.
no, sir. You are the star. Absolutely. I agree with everything, that you just said. Of course, having period care products in the restrooms, at the workplace.
Yeah,
California is I'm in California, and California is now one of the states where there's legislation that says that the period care products have to be provided in bathrooms at schools. And so, in the workplace as well, that shows the inclusivity, if it's there, in the restrooms. It shows that we value you regardless
hmm
of your sex, or your gender. We value you and we want you to be okay, in terms of this natural, process, bodily process that's, required for the human species to continue. So yes,
yep.
we want to support it. So thank you so much, Tosin.
It's a pleasure. Thanks for being here. It's always a
This
pleasure
time,
being
yeah,
here.
time flew by. I don't know. I just feel like we're wrapping up, but we don't really want to wrap up. That's why there was that pause. Like we don't want it to end. But no, this is pretty much it. And Sanico.us is how you continue to learn more about us, connect with us, and especially if you are an ally, you want to make that difference for women in the workplace. Definitely reach out to us. We are going to have a amazing launch day on April 1st, and we can't wait to continue to do the advocacy. And um, anything else anyone else from Stanico wants to say to get people really excited for one, what's next with Stanico, and then of course what's next for the Girl Dad Joy Summit.
Well, one thing I do want to shout out for what's coming up with Sanical is the big menstrual health summit that we hold in May, um, to honor Menstrual Hygiene Day, alongside that. So we definitely want people to sign up. We want you to attend if you're in Tulsa, or you could drive here if you are close enough, um, to attend it and just kind of be a part of it and see how we can go ahead and help women, help those who are menstruating. And that will
Definitely.
be on our website, our social media as well.
Definitely. That's right there. www.sanico.us. Connect with the organization and join us in taking it to the workplace.
All right. Well, we will see you. This is not the end of the Girl Dad Joy Summit. We are going to have Dr. Carmen is taking the floor, and we're going to hear from Rob Owens III. Rob Owens III on active parenting, and being able to just take that resilience. You know, he's another military dad, and just being able to take that resilience and combine of how to become active. And funny enough, actually, I'm saying it out loud for the first time, Dr. Carmen. He's really an active dad. That's why it's so hard for us to catch him. You know. So anyway, so stay tuned for that.
Oh
That
my,
is going to be at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, noon Pacific time on Saturday. Make sure you are watching, but also make sure you are getting access to the replays. Getting access to the replays by going to periodofempowerment.com and then look for the tab called Summit. And we can't wait to see you and continue to hear from you as far as what your favorite takeaways were, what you're going to do to become an even more valuable dad.
Yeah.